I'd like to ask you, though, in the case of a person who, unfortunately, is a little bit miserly, doesn't really want to pay the zakat, therefore, what advice would you give to that particular person? That person is very well off, but due to miserliness, they decide to forego the zakat. What's your advice to that person?
There are various verses in the Quran and several ahadith which you can narrate to these people who are miser and don't want to give zakat in order to encourage them to give zakat. Allah says in the Quran, in Surah Fajr, chapter number 89, verse number 20, and those who love their wealth with excessive love, talking about these people who are miserly. Further, Allah says in the Quran, in Surah Adiyat, chapter number 100, verse number 8, that and he is violently in love with the wealth. You know, those people talking about those who love wealth so much and are dying for the wealth. So Allah is giving a warning to these people. Allah says in Surah Taqabun, chapter number 64, verse number 15, that your wealth and your children are a trial for you, are a test for you. Allah is telling all these things that you love so much are a test, are a trial for you. And there's a hadith of Tirmidhi, hadith number 2336, where the beloved Prophet said that every ummah would be tested with something, and my ummah would be tested by wealth. Wealth is the test for my ummah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives an example in the Quran, in Surah Qalam, chapter number 68, verse number 17 to 33. And Allah narrates the story of a person who owns a beautiful big garden. And this person was very charitable. Whatever earnings he got from the garden, he spent whatever was required on the family and in maintaining the garden. And the rest, everything he used to give in charity. So this continued for a long time. After this person died, his children, they said that what a fool our father was. He gave everything in charity. So what they decided, that when whatever harvest they get, whatever goods they get, they will slowly at night take it away to their own homes. The children decided, and no one will come to know. So when the fruits and everything came, they took it to their homes. And next day, when they came to the garden, everything was ruined. And the complete garden was absolutely ruined. And only their garden was affected. And there the Quran says in Surah Qalam, chapter 68, verse number 31, and we have transgressed the limit. And Allah says in the next verse, in Surah Qalam, chapter 68, verse 33, that for these people, there is a punishment in this world and more severe punishment in the hereafter. That means those who love the wealth and are miserly people, there's a punishment in this world. In the next world, there is a bigger punishment. So those people who are miserly and don't want to give zakat, actually zakat is for purification. For whatever impurity you have will be washed away. And it's to increase your wealth. As the Prophet said, I said earlier, that charity does not decrease your wealth. And Allah says in the Quran, in Surah Layl, chapter number 92, verse number 8 to 11, that those people who are miser and who think that they are self-sufficient, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes their path of miserness smooth for them. But the wealth will not save them. And they will fall headlong into the pit. The miser people think that wealth is sufficient for them. They themselves will actually perish. Allah says in the Quran, in Surah Al-Imran, chapter number 3, verse number 180, that those who covetously hold on to the wealth that Allah has given them, thinking that it will be good to them, actually it will be a loss for them. And on the day of resurrection, on the day of judgment, their wealth will be wound around their neck and it will be a loss for them. So a person should be reminded that zakat is to increase his wealth. And zakat is given to decrease the love for wealth. As Allah says in Surah Al-Imran, chapter 3, verse 92, that you are not a believer until you give what you love. So zakat is to decrease your love for wealth and increase the brotherhood amongst the Muslims and purify your wealth and increase your wealth.